All right, and we're finally live on YouTube.
Yeah.
I guess the best way to approach this is: does anyone have anything of note from tonight? Anything at all?
No.
I can't wait to smack the Broncos next week in Philly.
That's pretty interesting.
I actually, so I was actually on, so I was doing I was filling in as a producer for a Giant show earlier tonight for a buddy of mine, and he somehow I don't remember how the Broncos came up, but like it's because a lot of the people who watch it typically are Broncos fans. It's all in one network, and a couple of Broncos fans saw that I was on there, so they were asking, what do you think is going to happen in the Broncos Eagles game? And it's going to come down to, as Brandon and I know, it's going to come down to our ability to rush the passer and to make Bo Nix uncomfortable.
And to make Brandon hopefully
it does make me uncomfortable.
I was just going to say it was a Freudian slip there.
All right, let's see. Jets. Where's the passing offense? Where is it?
Expecting, like Shane said before, expecting Justin Fields to throw the ball is already a problem.
Yeah, what were we expecting something else? Because I wasn't.
They have Garrett Wilson. Throw him the football.
We were expecting we were expecting first week Justin Fields against the Steelers. Not this.
Yeah, like I don't care what receivers you have. If the quarterback isn't there, then it doesn't matter. Like,
yeah,
you have to be able to get him the ball.
Yeah, like people freaking out about Justin Fields having all these Houdini runs. He's not a running back. He's a quarterback. Like, stop it. Like, it's not that impressive.
No, I mean, I thought the Jets would probably have a bottom 3, passing offense in the league, and well, I'm not going to say I was right, but so far it's
yeah.
You're good, Nostradamus.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I'll take what I can get, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still just think that the Jets were wrong to move on from Saleh. That's where I'm at still, because at least this was a top 5 defensive unit under him. That's long gone.
Defense is awful.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Did you see this? Did you see the stat where Sauce Gardner is first in holding calls since last year and 7th in PI?
No, I did not see that.
Oh my god!
They said during the broadcast tonight. Literally as he got a holding call or PI, whatever it was, like on a drive, and I'm like, does any corner have worse technique in modern football in the last 25 years than Sauce Gardner? His technique
at least in CB1 territory. Yeah, I think you're right.
Like, it's bad. It's like that's not just bad. That's really, especially for a guy they had high hopes for him to be that garbage, is bad.
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon, do you want to finish that? Sorry, my bad.
Well, I was just going to say, I mean, people don't really, I don't know if people don't realize it, but they just don't seem to talk about it. It's like, the reason 9 times out of 10, unless, aside from pre-snap penalties, like offsides or whatever, the reason for holding or pass interference, whatever, most of the time is because you are not doing your job correctly. And so you do this as a last-ditch effort to try and make something happen, and it doesn't work out. If you're our offensive line coach, he played in the NFL, and he's a very knowledgeable guy. He always tells our offensive linemen, when you get off your break, if you're in the right spot, you will not have to hold. You only hold when you use bad technique, when your footwork's off, whatever. And that's when it happens.
Yeah.
And the same with corners, at the end of the day. So,
yeah. Shane, or excuse me, Brand, do you want to finish on that or?
No, I mean, all I was gonna say is that when you look at Sauce Gardner as a whole, it's just a microcosm of how bad their defense is. And the thing is, it shouldn't be because there's a lot of talent on that defense. It's just that it's pretty obviously it's not coached that well, and it's just their technique is terrible. So when you mix those two things together, of course, it doesn't matter how much talent you have, you got to have the coaching, and the coaching is not there, and the talent doesn't seem to care at this point. And everybody knows that the Jets are a wasteland for pretty much anybody. Draft picks,
everything.
Veterans, doesn't matter. So I don't care about the Jets rest of the season. That's just the bottom line. I don't care about the Jets any season. Forget this year. I don't care about the Jets, period.
Yeah, another team I don't care about is the Dolphins. It sucks that Tyreek Hill is going to miss the year. Pretty much, it looks like.
Yeah,
it makes them even worse. Scoop. I mean, there's nothing here.
there really isn't, and I have to wonder, and I'm not saying I think this should be the case, but I have to wonder if with Tyreek Hill going down due to the from the injury, I have to wonder, is anything now salvageable for Mike McDaniel? Because Tyreek Hill was kind of I don't want to say the cheat code, but he kind of was the saving grace a good amount of the time in the passing game for Tua Tagovailoa, of whom, I mean, y'all know I'm a huge fan of Tua Tagovailoa. I'm a Bama fan. He is the greatest quarterback in Bama history. But when it comes to what I've seen from him when he doesn't have enough support, I'm not going to say he needs it to be, I'm not going to say he needs a loaded roster, but when he doesn't have enough support, we've seen what happens, both in terms of inconsistency and obviously the injury situation. So I really have to wonder, is this the final death knell for, maybe not this week, but is this the final death knell? I have to wonder for the Mike McDaniel era in Miami.
There's not much to help him at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's very possible.
I mean, what do you got? What do they have now in this offense without Tyreek Hill? You got Waddle,
Jalen Waddle and Achant. That's it.
And you have the corpse of Darren Waller. So,
who caught 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, that's because the Jets suck. We've been like Darren Waller off the couch should not catch 2 touchdowns against you. That's pathetic. But
it's like you said. I mean, and I would argue Achant's not even had that fantastic of a year, but it's Waddle. They've got one good interior lineman in Broer. They had Hill, and obviously he went down. And then they've got Grant Padarren. So you have all of these different issues behind that. It's just, and again, this is an offensive. And I know we talked about how much this matters or doesn't or whatever a couple of weeks ago. But you've got now an offensive head coach that is now going to have a bleak set of or a bleak cupboard or bleak outlook on offense. And I have to wonder, even on the other side of the ball, I mean, is a defensive secondary of Douglas, Jones, and Davis gonna be enough to get them that far? I don't see how it is, especially when you're going up against a much more loaded quarterback class, even with the injuries to guys like Burrow and Jackson on the AFC side than the NFC.
Yeah. Bengals, anything? Nothing? No.
We know that season's over. We don't care.
Jamar Chase is frustrated. What a surprise.
T. Higgins is invisible. So
yeah. It feels like Browning. It feels like Browning is just trying to force on the ball, even though they're covered.
Yeah,
it's really annoying.
It's not good. And what's crazy is he knows the system, which is insane. But I mean, we know he's not Joe Burrow, but this is a guy that's been in the system for a while now. He should be a little bit better than this too. So it's
right.
It's and listen, just for the sake of my fantasy team, my God, T. Higgins, do something, because I have nothing. I literally have nothing left on my fantasy team. It's all
Brandon. The entire purpose of this show for you today is to complain about how bad your fantasy team is because the game sucks.
because it's completely devoid of talent at this point. I am the New York Jets of fantasy football. I literally cannot.
That's depressing.
Like they're all my entire roster died in week 2, and I have nothing that nobody wants to trade for or trade with. So I have no hope for the rest of my season. It ended in week 2.
For
So
the
it's-
record, last night I was on the phone with Brandon. And I was trying to think of trades because I was trying to think. Oh, let me. I can't trade.
No.
I can't give him anything.
Nope.
I can't.
nothing.
Like there's,
Done.
nothing would be fair.
Oh my God.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Is this the game that propels the Broncos, Shane, or are you? I mean, again, the Eagles for Scoop and Brandon, as they talked about next week for the Broncos. But can this help them propel them at all offensively, or no?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's I mean, granted, it's against the Bengals, which I mean, what do they have on defense? Trey Hendrickson, that's about it. But you know, I think at Denver, to me, I almost wonder if they're going to be, sort of like, I mean, not to compare them to, like the Patriots, where for a long time they were great, but they were terrible in September because they were just kind of, figuring out their identity and what, not saying that they're going to be some dynasty team or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, I was kind of thinking about this the other day. I was like, is this kind of what they're going to be? Because they had a really bumpy September last year, and then again this year, same kind of thing. So I thought, okay, maybe that's what it is. And, same with, like, Cincinnati, the few years where they were really good, they were terrible in September. But, I mean, time will tell if that's the case or not. But yeah, I think when when they're executing properly, I mean, they have all the right pieces on defense. They have the offensive line. They can develop a consistent run game. Everybody just needs to be on the same page, and it feels like they're starting to be now. So, Bo Nix, I mean, he still hasn't, he wasn't playing amazing tonight. I mean, definitely better than he had been. But still, just a couple things here and there. But yeah, I mean, overall, I am still high on the Broncos. Just because we have seen them start slow like this before, even before Bo Nix, and then finish hot. But the Eagles, I mean, that's a challenging task.
I mean, if we let Troy Franklin and Cortland Sutton get open next week, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think they will. So,
well, that's
it's
the
like,
thing. I mean,
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, well, nothing against Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin, but like going up against Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, nah, I don't like that for them.
Yeah. So Eagles next week. We talked about that. Jets in London, week 6, week
they'll
7.
do good there. They'll be fine there.
Yeah.
They'll be fine
Week
against the
7,
Jets.
Giants.
Yeah, they'll be fine there. Should be. Oh, Jesus, Rob.
Oh Lord, not again.
Robert left us. All right. So, anyways,
The mere mention of Jackson Dart's Giants made his camera disable.
Made my entire setup.
Crash.
Am I good?
yeah.
I
Maybe.
hope. I mean, you keep black screening on us every like.
Hello?
Technology sucks.
Hello?
Hello.
What's up?
Let's
What's
see
up,
what
big guy?
happens. Let's see what happens in the next 10 seconds.
Hello?
Yeah,
It's just
yeah, no, for real. Hi, yes, hello,
Hi.
I hope
hi.
it works.
My million just completely crashed. Are we good?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just loading up. Hang on. All right. Sorry about that. I crashed for a moment. But yeah, as Brandon said, of course I'm going to crash. We're going to talk about the Giants. So there we go. Um,
So wait, so who they got? So who they got the next like 4 or 5 weeks? Who they got?
so I'm going till the bye. So Eagles, Jets in London,
Don't win that.
Giants,
Don't win that one.
Cowboys.
Oh, they
Should win that.
Should.
Yeah. Texans in Houston.
Should win that one.
Raiders on Thursday Night Football. Have
Oh,
fun with that.
Win.
Week 10.
Win. Because Gino's going to throw 17 picks to PS2.
Yeah, that is very true. And then Chiefs. Chiefs at home.
They could win that one.
I think they probably lose one or two of those.
Yeah, that's about it. And I think it's probably the last two on the bookend.
Yeah, Eagles and Chiefs, if anything. I mean, maybe three because there's everybody has fluke games here and there, but
even then, that's still a good record.
so that puts you at that would on the low end like 9-4 or 9-5, I guess. But up to that point, whatever it is.
So I mean, realistically, they still should be a playoff team. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scoop, how are you feeling about the schedule and where the Broncos are at right now?
Again, like I said, I was concerned about the Broncos going into this week, and they played really well, but again, you don't learn that much about what a guy can do on Madden when he's playing on rookie. So I just want to see what they're able to do when they face some of these other teams going forward. Again, I don't love the matchup against Philadelphia, provided Philly can generate enough pass rush to get to Bo early and often. If they can't do that, I think it's going to be a long day for us. And that's a legitimate concern, as Brandon and I both know all too well from what we watched this past week against Tampa Bay. So that I'm in no way saying that should be overlooked. That's a legitimate concern. And then you start going down the rest of the season. I think some of these are going to be dependent on, health, which I know is an obvious thing. But, you start looking down later in the season. You've got the Giants. So where are we going to be at with
Dart?
Jackson Dart, I'm sorry. Dallas, are we going to get the Dallas that somehow managed to fight its way into what I won't say in front of Shane, or will it, will it be more of like what we saw earlier in the season? The Texans are, these are games that I think they should win, but I don't trust them as much to win. They should win on paper, but I don't trust them as much to win based on what I saw earlier in the season. They just weren't playing up to what they should have been.
Yeah. So this week, like, the thoughts on the Broncos were just put on hold basically because of who they played, correct?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Broncos.
Sorry, what, Shane?
I said particularly for the Broncos.
Yep. Anything else on this horrible Monday Nighter?
Are we getting the rant from Shane tonight?
Yeah. Yes. I'm alluding to that. Shane, tie games, baby. Ties.
We need college OT rules in the NFL, like effective immediately.
No, we need a field goal off.
No. College
No.
OT rules effective like 7 years ago. Because This is the National Football League, okay? You cannot have 4 hours of a game be played, and then it ends in, overtime period and all this stuff, and then it's just, okay, there's no winner. Nobody accomplished anything here today. Good night. It's like,
Good morning
No.
on the East Coast.
it's like, no, we have to have a winner and a loser, especially when the season is so short and every game matters. But it's just like, oh no, there was no winner in this one. Good night, go home. Like, no, screw that. It's just it feels like
we should have modified college OT though, because if we have regular college OT, everyone's going to score.
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, there's a lot of teams that are not good in in the red zone.
That is fair.
I mean, it's, yes, offenses are better and more capable of scoring, but defenses are also a lot better and capable of stopping scoring. So I don't think it would really, I mean, adapting it for the NFL versus college, I don't think it would be a huge difference. But that's just me. I don't know. I just hate ties in any sport, really. It's just, it feels, I don't know. Like, I would honestly rather lose than tie. I know that sounds ridiculous, but at least then it's like, okay, well, there was an outcome. Instead of just like, if you tie, like, you might as well not even play the game. Like, I don't know.
See that's why you would hate soccer. Because soccer
That's why I do hate soccer for the most part.
yeah.
No offense to any soccer people out there, but anyways, so
Chelsea sucks.
yeah, sure.
Brandon knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, whatever.
We're
you say.
8th in the table. We're ass.
Yeah, so much for that.
But yeah, that's kind of it. I just, I hate ties especially in football. It's like, why even go to overtime if it's just going to end in a tie? It's stupid. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's
anything else from Sunday, Shane, that caught your eye?
Well, I mean, let me check the scores really quick just to make sure. I mean, there were a few things. I would first of all, I would like to offer a sincere apology to Liam Cohen.
Really?
For the things I have said about him.
They're only 3-1.
I'm aware, but here's the thing. I talked about him like he was going to be a bottom 5 head coach in the league, and so far he does not seem to be that. So, for right now, it's looking optimistic. Whereas in my brain, I was like, this is going to suck. So I'm not saying he's great. I'm just saying, like, okay, maybe he's better than we thought. Or better
So
than I thought.
are you excited for Chiefs Jags next Monday night or no?
I mean, more than I thought I'd be, like a month ago.
I've never rooted for the Jags so hard in my life.
Well, yeah, true. Atlanta, what are you like?
You're nothing.
I don't understand this team. I mean, 1 week you get blown out, shut out by the Panthers of all people, and then now you put up 34 on Washington, who many people have as a playoff team on their radar.
With the backup quarterback, but yeah.
But yeah, I know, but still. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, Green Bay, I'm a little concerned. I mean, I'm not hitting the panic button yet, but I'm kind of, I don't know. Let's see. Fire Kevin Patullo.
Yeah.
Yes, need it.
Chargers. What happened?
Yeah,
The dart happened.
Yeah. Well,
not even. Their offense was just terrific.
yeah.
Yesterday.
I was kind of surprised Buffalo didn't score more on New Orleans, but
Oh, that was such a trap game. That was such a trap. Oh my god.
yeah.
They genuinely looked like they were going to lose that game for a chunk of time.
Yep.
Yep.
For 3 quarters.
But I think
or 3.5 quarters.
the biggest surprise to me though was Kansas City just absolutely dominating Baltimore.
Obliterating Baltimore.
Yeah, man. I
thought
mean,
it would have been the other way around.
Well, yeah, I thought Baltimore was going to win by like a touchdown. But I mean, Mahomes, for the first time in years, looked like MVP Mahomes that most would consider him, or what Yeah. This is just I don't know what's going on with the Ravens. I mean, I know there's a lot of injuries, but they do not look right in any sense. I mean, this is pretty brutal. This does not look like a Harbaugh-led team. This looks like a first-year head coach who doesn't know what he's doing with a very talented roster and just doesn't know what to do with it, which is very unusual and very concerning for a guy like him. So yeah, otherwise, I mean, everything else kind of went, I mean, maybe not as I expected, but it was like not really any surprises, I mean, LA, I was expecting them to win by, 1 or 2 scores. And they did. And what else was there? The Raiders. Oh man.
Furious. I was furious because I picked the Bears in our Pick'em League and it didn't look good for a long time in that game. And I was like, oh boy.
I'm just saying, for all the people who thought Seattle made a mistake moving on from Geno. Ha. Anyways, which, to be fair, I like Geno more than most, but like, you watch him now this year versus what in the first 4 weeks versus what Darnold has done in the first 4 weeks in Seattle. It's night and day different. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Oh wait, I was just looking really quick. What happens in our Pick'em League if there's a tie?
I don't know.
It just says it doesn't say correct or incorrect. It says pushed. What does pushed mean?
Oh, because of the yeah, that's right. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna look this up myself. Interesting.
I'm confused what that means.
I
should know what it means. I just don't.
Good question.
I have no idea.
Are we still in second place, Rob? In our pick 'em.
Da, 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 da.
Oh
Is
my!
my mom still in first?
You know what? Oh, look at this!
You're in
My-
first.
Look at this! Bo Nix and J.K. Dobbins had themselves a decent night for me, and I'm furious because look how much I lost by.
How much?
I lost by
I can
3.
barely tell. You lost
Lost
by
by-
3. Damn
I
it.
lost by 3.
No, Brandon, you're winning. You're 46 and 17.
Let's go. Oh my! Well,
Shane, Shane, how are you in last?
see, I was
Dude,
gonna get.
I don't know.
I was gonna get to that. I was like, "What is?
I
You're
don't
gonna
know what's
drag
going
down our
on.
collective pick'em record. I hope you know that."
Yeah, I know. I've finished top 3 in the Pick'em League every single year. I don't know how I'm in last right now.
Oh my god! Which one did I get? Which one did I get?
I guess
right
I'm-
over you guys this week. Hold on.
I guess I'm having a
It was
guess
Colts,
I'm having a
Colts
Patriots-
Rams.
I'm having
me.
a Patriots dynasty September here, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. And for a couple weeks,
you and Scoop got to catch up. We have plenty of time, but you guys got to catch up.
for a couple weeks, my mom was in first place, which that was truly
Which
embarrassing.
didn't make any sense.
No, because she literally just you know what she does? She told me.
All right,
She's
Scoop,
like,
you're muted.
Yeah, I just realized that. My bad.
she told me, she goes, I said, well, okay, what's your secret? Like, you know, she goes, well, I just pick whatever team has the higher percent. I was like, well, clearly it's working. She goes,
Yeah,
no. She said, I pick whatever team has the higher percent and the Seahawks.
Wow.
Jesus.
Like, well, okay.
Scoop, what were you gonna say?
Hang on a second. Sorry, my mic's all screwed up. What was I going to say?
You got to catch up too with Shane. So
Oh yeah. That's what you were saying. Yeah, no, I was doing pretty well. This week absolutely annihilated me.
yeah, yikes. Okay, let's talk about something more entertaining than. Well, we're going to talk one more football thing, and then we'll get to something more entertaining. The special teams this season. Shane, I don't even know where to start with this. It's been incredible across the board. But I want to get your thoughts on how crazy the special teams has been in the NFL versus high school, where all of the kickers are kicking it out of bounds on a kickoff and making me lose my crap. Why does that happen in high school?
Because, well, okay. It doesn't happen that much. It just happens a lot with us because we have the 2 best kickoff returners in our entire conference, Nathan Schlack and Gage Lynch, and so teams would literally rather kick the ball out of bounds and have us start the possession at the 35 as opposed to have one of those 2 guys run it back for a touchdown. I think they've had combined 5 kickoff return touchdowns so far this year.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
Is that correct? Or maybe
Yes.
6?
Yeah.
It's nuts. I mean, these guys they're so fast. I think they run. I think Schlack runs a 4.5, and then
Which in high school
Lynch
is super
runs.
fast.
Yeah,
In high
and
school,
Lynch
that's
runs like
insane.
a 4.6, I think.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
It's nuts.
That's only gonna get faster as they go on.
Right. Yeah. So, anyway, so yeah, that's a big reason for that. But also a lot of times, like, you know, high school kickers, it's like their accuracy is not super refined yet, so they just will boot it as hard as they can to try and get it, you know, as close to the goal line as possible. But in doing so, they just shank it. Which, you know, oh well.
But for the NFL side, Shane, it's kind of wild, all the block kicks and everything.
Yeah, which yeah, I mean, part of it is just that a lot of what I've noticed is that a lot of offensive head coaches just sort of just don't really care about special teams, whereas defensive coaches very much do.
Right.
Which, you know, like that's the case for us. I mean, we have a defensive head coach, and we do. I mean, we do a lot of special teams, like at practice and whatever. What I've noticed is that, you know, a lot of times you'll just have these, you know, kind of sloppy plays given up by bad special teams units. San Francisco. And then you'll have, you know, these great plays by special teams units that are really buttoned up, like Kansas City, or which, ironically, not an offensive head coach, but Andy's kind of old school, so, you know, whatever. You know, guys like the Chiefs, the Chargers, you know, you name it, right? So, were you pointing at yourself, Brandon?
Yeah. I don't want to be responsible for being the Eagles guy for another segment.
No, yeah. But I mean, it's true though. But yeah, I think it's a combination of. I mean, well, really, I don't think it's as much of like special teams is just like so good this year. I think it's more so just that so many special teams units are just crap, and they're allowing this to happen.
Yeah,
that's I could be wrong, but that's how it reads to me. Just based off kind of what I've seen, but either way, it's fun. You know, because
it makes every kick matter.
Well, yeah, and you know, because I think in the last few years, as the league has gotten more offensive, or well, it had gotten more offensive heavy. I think we're slowly shifting away from that. And you know, with that, we're seeing the return of, you know, the importance of special teams, because, you know, there are 3 phases to a game. It's not just offense and defense. So, you know, it can make or break games or even seasons. You know, I mean, just look at the 2010 Chargers? They had the number 1 overall offense, number 1 defense, missed the playoffs because their special teams were awful and lost them games. Which I still think is a freaking crazy stat, but
I didn't even know that, so you taught me something new tonight.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, so anyways, that's sort of my thoughts on that. But you know, it's always an interesting subject, I think.
Yeah, Scoop, what are your thoughts on the wildness of special teams this season?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely noticed it. A higher concentration, I would say, this weekend. Now, granted, I probably watched the most football this weekend that I have all year when you factor in both college and NFL. But it was just wild. Like I for a great period of time, like, and I'm talking several years, I think we, by and large, I wouldn't say we thought that they were automatic, but I think that we, you know, expect, more often than not, you expect a field goal, barring it being 60 some odd yards, which even one of those went in, courtesy of Chase McLaughlin. But, you know, more often than not, I think you just kind of expect, okay, it's going to go in as long as it's not, you know, some inane distance. But we were watching this weekend, and it was just, and we're not talking 58, 60, you know, in many cases, I was watching the Texas A&M versus Auburn game that had some very bizarre special teams instances. We had I think the Iowa State game, I want to say, was one of them. And then of course the ones that we've been discussing on Sunday on the NFL. And I don't really know what it is. I don't have a good analysis as to why it's been happening, but it does, I think, start to make it an interesting consideration as to whether or not, depending on who it is and what the game situation is. I think maybe eventually you have to ask, do we go for it, or do we go for this field goal, or do we try and convert maybe more on fourth downs than maybe we were trying before? Because now I've seen a lot more teams do that than I feel like I was for a period of time. And I wonder now if field goals, if this is not just a crazy coincidence, and if this becomes more of a trend, I wonder, do we start seeing more teams trying to get aggressive like that and not assuming that taking the points is going to be the easy way?
Yeah. Brandon, anything to add there?
If there's one thing I think I've noticed, or just one thing I guess important to point out, is on the Fox broadcast, at least this weekend, and really between last weekend and this weekend, and I even heard it on some even YouTube videos I saw breaking down some of the games from last weekend, not from official accounts, but guys on YouTube that break down games, like bigger YouTube channels, and they were saying that one thing a lot of these teams are doing on special teams this year, when it comes to either blocking punts or blocking kicks, whatever it is, they're exploited. Like, they are literally fighting the weak. Instead of lining up everybody kind of equally across the line, they're loading up against the weaker side of the line and pushing those linemen back towards the ball, and then able to get their hand up and block it. So they're just basically exploiting the weakness in the other team's special teams unit. So it's kind of becoming where teams are just getting wiser as to which side's the weaker side for a special teams unit. Which side of their kick coverage is bad. Which side of their field goal unit is bad. So, and then they're just lining up a lot of those big guys and their best defensive players on that side so that there's a better chance of blocking that kick. Or a better chance of even shooting the gap and just going straight through and blocking the kick. So that's I think one thing. I think that I don't know why it feels like 10, 15, 20 years ago, it felt like special teams was just a formality. Like, every field goal was going to go in and every punt was going to go off without a hitch for the most part, or whatever it was. But then you get what it is now, where it's like I feel like teams there's probably more data. As my dog's going to ape shit. I can't help that. I wish I had a soundproof room, but I don't. Actually, hold
barely
on.
hear it, to be honest.
This is why we're live. I have to let my grandparents in. Hold on.
But no,
Okay.
the special teams has been very good lately, and it's just wild to watch. We are live. This is how things go sometimes. Did everyone watch Iron Claw here? Did everyone get the movie done? I got it done during the games.
No, I haven't seen it.
No.
Shane said he hasn't seen it. No, he checked it.
No,
Scoop, you weren't able to get the movie done this week?
No, I'm sorry. I started it, and then I thought that the dialogue was saying that we weren't going to be, so I went and I had to get something else done.
Oh, no worries. It's totally fine.
All right, so special teams is exploiting weaknesses, and other teams have to adjust.
Yeah, we were talking about Iron Claw. Did you finish the movie, Brandon?
Yeah, I watched it on Saturday.
Yeah. But yeah. Do you all want to start on the film?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Scoop, you can get your thoughts next week if you want. If you're okay with that. Or on Thursday, if that's all right with you.
Were you speaking to me? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
We can get your thoughts on Thursday if that's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Do you would you like me to disconnect or?
Yeah, you can stay if you want, or you can head out just so you don't get spoiled.
Okay, yeah, that sounds
but
good. I apologize.
thanks for
y'all, for the
hopping in, Scoop.
misunderstanding.
Always appreciate it, brother.
All right, I apologize for the misunderstanding, y'all. Have a good
Oh
evening.
no, totally fine.
Nothing to
I messed up
apologize
too.
for.
All right, take
All
care,
right.
y'all.
Peace.
See ya.
All right, so Iron Claw. We'll get Scoop's thoughts later in the week on that movie. The whole misunderstanding was I woke up like super late because of the fucking international NFL games fucking screwing my schedule up.
Yeah.
So we were going to kind of move it around. Then I just decided, screw it, I'll watch it during the games because the games bore the shit out of me. So, yeah, we'll get Scoop's thoughts later in the week. Very excited for those. Shane, another very sad one. Stop making me cry, dude.
I know. I didn't mean for back to back, back to back sad movies. It just kind of happened that way. But anyways,
Yeah, stop making me cry.
yeah, I know. No, this movie. I remember I first watched it. I don't know, but a few months after it came out. And I was like, oh well. Okay, I mean, it's a biopic and it's about the Von Erichs, and like I was somewhat familiar with their story, like, and when I say somewhat familiar, I knew that it was a family of wrestlers, a bunch of brothers, and there was only Kevin was the only one still living, and the others died when they were pretty young. I knew that I knew that some of them were suicide. One was the weird kidney or whatever thing he had. And I thought that one of them died in a motorcycle accident. Turns out he didn't.
His leg got
Yeah.
messed up, though.
Yes, which then, was partially led to it, probably. But anyways, so that was like all I knew. But I didn't really know like how it all went down or what, and so, I was like, well, I'll give this movie a chance. Because everybody was saying, "Oh, you'll love it. It's great," even though I hate biopics usually. Okay. But I think the difference between this one and others is, this doesn't feel like it. I feel like a lot of biopics just, it's like a Wikipedia article about a person's life. And it's just, it feels uninspired.
Mm-hmm.
But this feels like a, this feels like a really well done, kind of like family drama. And yes, it does span a large chunk of their lives, but I think it showcases a lot of really good performances. A lot of people, I think, still feel like Zac Efron is just a pretty face and not a talented actor.
Best performance of his career.
Could not disagree more. Yeah.
Yeah.
You show him this movie, you show them the movie where he was Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
The guy has range, and he is really good. He's a great actor.
He's fantastic.
And yes, he's a good-looking guy, obviously, but like that's not just that's not his only. That's not all he has to offer, right? And that's, and I think you see it here. Jeremy Allen White was also great. I feel like he really. Because Carrie, his character, he, when they were all still alive, he was definitely the one of those brothers who was the most famous and the most noteworthy, and you can tell in this film that he has a lot of kind of internal pressure just by like just knowing that he has a little higher expectations on him than the others just because of that. And he, Jeremy Allen White, I think, shows it really well. He really internalizes that and carries it with him. And yeah, and I just, I really like. I think Brandon and I were talking about this a little bit. The setup is a little bit slow.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit to kind of get into it, which I understand why, and I think you kind of have to do that almost because then you won't have the same weight later on when crap hits the fan. But and then it results in like a lot of the second half feeling a little rushed, but it's hard when you're trying to take 10 to 20 years of a family's life and condense it into 2 hours. I mean, it's gonna feel, some things are gonna feel like that, and all things considered, I felt like they balanced it pretty well. I really liked I really liked the cinematography as well. I think, particularly the lighting. Just the difference between, there's that scene kind of early on where the brothers are all hanging out on the lake, and it's, the lighting is so warm, and you have just these kind of oranges, and everything feels like very very soft, and you contrast that with later on in when they're in these tense moments where things are just very dark and colorless, and just looks dreary, and it's that's very powerful visual storytelling. I mean, you started at a place where things were pretty good for them. They were this famous family, and I mean, sure, they had kind of this pressure from their dad, which Kevin Von Erich has said it was like, we didn't really feel that pressure from our dad. I was more so just like, for the movie, which is understandable. But still, in the context of the movie, it's like everything's going well, and then all of a sudden, these things start happening, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I mean, overall, though, I really enjoyed it, and I mean, it's one of the first biopics in a long time where I came out of it not feeling bored, but instead, feeling like, feeling something, like, it's like, man, that's quite a journey there, and
Yeah.
because it is undeniably that's a lot for anybody to go through.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
for me, before I go to Brandon, I think the biggest thing was the actors' performances, but it was also, and this is a positive, 100%, it was really dry. And it's because what emotion, like, you feel shock when you have family members die like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you can feel the shock reverberate through, and you felt that way throughout the movie. Like, everyone's kind of like, the men are suppressing their emotions, because obviously that was a lot during that time. You see the mother crying for a bit, and it's like, I can't wear the dress, for example, and those things. But it was like really dry, and you notice the emotion through the other things that they end up doing throughout their lives, just to get out frustration. But then as it goes along and you get to the end where Zac Efron's character Kevin is just watching the boys play football, ironically, he's just crying. He's just like all of it finally kind of starts coming out. And it's like, I thought that was like because I feel like the whole movie kind of leads up to that ending where it's like, well, I don't want to be frustrated anymore. I'm tired of feeling the sense of shock. And also just seeing my boys just like play and be happy and not have the stress and the worry about the curse of the family, which thank God they broke, I would say, at this point in life. But like that was like, and then the boys were like, "We'll be your brother, Daddy." I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, they all, his kids and their grandkids, they all live in like a giant ass compound on the beach in Hawaii.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they're
it's
awesome. So
it's really cool.
They're doing great.
Yeah, the photo of the family at the end was so awesome. Just seeing everybody.
I feel scared. I feel scared for the one grandchild being tossed that high in the air, though. If you look at the picture, the one on the far right, he is just insanely high in the air.
In the air. I love how they approached emotion through frustration and through really emotional dryness, because I mean, you can't really cry that much. Like there's this sense of real shock until the end, and you feel it throughout the movie, and it sticks with you for sure. And I think, Shane, this is why it's up there for you in biopics is, you are in your feels and it sticks with you. It's a really strong emotional roller coaster. Brandon, what about you? I give it a 9 here out of 10.
Yeah, that's where I have it too. I think it's a 9 out of 10, and that's just part of that is me as a longtime wrestling fan. Like I'm not as involved in it as I used to be. I still keep up with the highlights and things like that, and all my favorite wrestlers from when I was a little kid, and the things that they do. But but still at heart, I would still consider myself a wrestling fan, and to know the story is one thing, but then to finally see like an actual proper real wrestling story on the big screen, not just like the wrestler with Mickey Rourke, like that was a whole different thing. But to have that movie tell the story, but also tell it. I mean, there's a lot. There's gonna be not a lot. There's gonna be some things that are dramatized, but even Kevin, who was at the premiere himself, said that he liked it. It was pretty faithful to what actually happened, to how it actually went. And
that stamp of approval is really important. So that's awesome.
Yeah, because a lot of times you'll get biopics where it's like, oh yeah, half the stuff is not real, half the stuff is not what happened. But Kevin saying that it was pretty spot on is important. So just that added layer now, having that, because it's like obviously we didn't know at the time that obviously him being at the premiere, we didn't know that it truly was, but now having like that background knowledge, as now Rob is gone again, having that, there you go, having that background knowledge of, kind of the way he said that that's faithful to the story, and then also just having the background knowledge as a wrestling fan of the family that I do. That, I mean, a lot of people do anyway, even if you're not a wrestling fan. It's just that's how famous the story is. But that was one thing I noticed too, and I was glad you brought it up, Rob, with the whole you never see any of the men cry in the family until the very end, when he finally lets it all out, and it's like it's not just those aren't just like, I mean, they are sad tears obviously because you can finally let it out, but it's like a mix of emotions. It's sad, but it's also like it's the one cry he's letting out because he can finally also be at peace with it, with everything that's happening.
With his family, with his kids, with his wife.
Oh, we can't hear you, Robert.
Yeah, we can't hear
what
you.
What the heck?
You ruined the moment.
Yeah, and I think that that's exemplified with when he says, "I used to be a brother." Like that's him accepting that, like, okay, that chapter,
and it's time to focus on the family, like what he does have now. Like,
Can you guys hear
Right.
me now? Am I good?
yeah, you're good
I
now.
can hear you.
Okay. No, but I was gonna say same as you said, Brandon. Like with the wife, with the kids, just being at peace like that. It's yeah.
And the thing is, it's and obviously, the sons, the two boys that are playing Marshall and Ross Von Erich, I mean, they're not well known wrestlers, but they're wrestlers in their own right. I've seen them wrestle before; they're pretty good. But um, but just to have that kind of moment to end the movie, it's like it really is a full circle kind of moment. Um, and I love how they're the probably the most clever moment I think in the movie, even though it was obvious to tell, and about 10 seconds into the scene was obviously right after Kerry takes his life near the end of the movie, and obviously Kevin lays him down on the family table, brings him inside and lays him down on the family table. That pretty much it then cuts to like him with two legs, 2 feet again. So that obviously he's in heaven now. So it's like he's walking to meet his brothers on the other side, and that's it. I thought that was a real clever kind of edit the way they did that. Almost like, okay, he's dead in real life, but he's kind of like getting up off the table technically, like like when he passes over to the other side, it's like his way of doing. He leaves the front door of the house and then he jumps. And you can see he's got both his feet again. So you kind of know what's going on, but it's so I thought that was a really sweet kind of moment, and the way they edited that was really good. But
And then he goes to the little ones. Oh, you must be my big brother. I was like,
yeah, yeah, like
Yeah.
that's it's just like the whole story of that family is just insanity, but the honestly the best character in this movie to me is the character of Pam, because she's the one that quite literally the second she enters Kevin's life, she's the only thing holding that family together by the end of it.
Yeah.
She's pretty much the only person in that family holding the parents together, holding what's left of the brothers together, even as they kind of go one by one, and holding Kevin together. Because if you didn't have her, we know where, obviously, I mean, it's sad to say, but we know where Kevin would be if he didn't have her. So
Yeah.
so it's like it's and obviously and the actress that plays her is obviously pretty famous. I mean, I know her from Liar Liar. But
she's in a bunch of stuff.
yeah, I know she is, but I know her mostly from is Liar Liar. But she's definitely, or I should say not her. The mother is from Liar Liar.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
she's not that. Lily James isn't that old.
yeah. I've seen her in other stuff too, but I got crossed up for a second. You can tell I'm tired.
We're almost done.
You're good.
We're almost done. Thank God.
No, I know, but yeah, so the whole thing I like about this, I mean, to me, and I say this about every movie, but but Shane also picks pretty damn good movies for us to do. So,
I do.
Yeah. Slap yourself on the back some more.
I'm kidding.
But like, so it's like I always talk about like the casting and like the way it's edited and the way whatever all that stuff. But it's true. It's like it's a good cast for this. It's a cast of people that are veteran actors. Like even if you don't really quite might not know where they're from, it's a lot of veterans in the casting. I like when biopics kind of do like an allusion to something grander at the end of the movie, but they don't. Obviously, they don't lean into it. Like when they were talking about selling the promotion to Jerry Jarrett, who is famously the father of Jeff Jarrett, the famous wrestler, and how pretty much selling that promotion eventually. I can't remember if it was that promotion exactly, but eventually, turning that promotion and then Jeff coming up through the wrestling business and him basically coming together to basically found TNA Wrestling, which is now, one of the big three in terms of the promotions, which is WWE, AEW, and TNA. So that was kind of cool that they alluded to Jerry Jarrett buying out the territory and buying out the promotion, because that did happen a lot back then anyway. But that was also the start of something, kind of a new chapter for that wrestling family and that kind of era. So, that's the only knock on it I think I have. Like you said, Shane, is like just how kind of slow it is in the beginning. I mean, it has to be slow, but then I also feel like then you kind of didn't have, they treated it like, that's why the ending to me, like, it has to be slow in the beginning, but I think they could have knocked off maybe about 10 minutes of how slow it was, 15 minutes, and kind of like shifted the story kind of a little bit, shifted the rest of the story a little bit for like ahead, rather than like you know what I'm saying, like cut kind of 10, 15 minutes of like maybe the slow beginning out, and then like because once you got to the brothers' deaths, it was all, they treated it like it was all bang 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 one after another, and that's not how it happened. So
I mean, they were like years apart.
Yeah, it was years apart. I mean, it wasn't like long years apart, but it was multiple years. It was like a year or 2 or 3 plus apart. So
yeah, pretty much.
Like
let me look it up.
And it feels like it went by in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm also looking up the family tree here. This is an amazing family tree of wrestlers.
They have a long one, and also and also if anybody knows anything about wrestling, and like I said, the Cody Rhodes with his current theme song, it starts out with basically with him saying, wrestling has more than one royal family, alluding to obviously the Von Erichs, and then and obviously his own family, the Rhodes family, with Dusty himself and Dustin, which was Goldust in WWE. So so that's pretty cool. That there's kind of like a nod to them there, more or less, and because the Von Erichs and the Rhodes family were always close, even back then. So, so that's really cool that there's kind of like a history there. But this isn't like, you don't have to be a wrestling fan to watch this movie. I mean, you probably kind of at least should have some interest in wrestling to watch this movie, because then otherwise you won't kind of know, like, you won't know some of the terms, or you won't kind of know what they're doing. In terms of like, when they're talking about, like, there's certain wrestling things that you probably won't get, like the scripted, like the televised TV segments where they have to keep redoing takes of giving a promo. So like that's one thing that people might not know about the wrestling business. Is like, obviously, if you're not a wrestling fan, it's like, they do promos where they talk about other wrestlers and they kind of hype up their upcoming match or whatever it is, or they talk crap about their opponent, and he keeps stumbling over his words. Kevin keeps stumbling over his words. He's like, okay, can we redo that? Can we start over? And it's like, that's something you don't kind of see, because people only see the side of wrestling where it's like, it's like they feel like it's done in one take and it's real because it's what they see on TV. But that's not how it actually is. Or when they're talking about it before they go out for their tag team match, they talk about certain moves, certain spots that they want to hit on each other, like a crossbody or like pulling a punch on somebody, to set up the finishing maneuvers. So like, that's something in wrestling that happens, a lot. Some wrestlers when they become veterans, don't have to call spots. They just trust their opponent to do the right things and to go with the flow. But when you're a younger wrestler in a territory like that, especially back in the day, you always went over your spots, and you always went over kind of when to do something in a match. So, that the crowd wouldn't know, because back then the crowd didn't know wrestling was not fake but scripted. And that's another thing I like too, is early in the movie. Actually, it's on that first date between Kevin and Pam, and she basically calls wrestling fake, and he's like, no, what we do is not fake. He's like we don't call it that. It's not fake to us. Like
You see the injuries and the punishment that these guys go through, especially
Yeah.
more back in those days because you didn't have the training that we have now.
Yeah, you didn't have the training, and you also just did not have the safety precautions in place. You didn't have, the mats.
Uh-oh.
I thought it was me for a second.
No, it's okay.
Well, goodbye, Brandon. And then there were two.
And then they were too.
He said, "Sorry, computer crashed."
It's okay. But yeah, no, the movie was great, and it's good to see Brandon talk about also just what they did in wrestling during that time and everything because it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
I don't know what our movie is for next week because I have to change it. I don't have to, but I'm going to.
So you don't know what it is yet?
So I will let you guys know in the next couple of days.
Do you have nominees?
I do have. What is going on? There we go. Now my computer is having problems.
I think the computer's tired, we're tired, everyone's screwed up today. Makes sense with bad football on. What? It's true.
No, it is. It is.
It is. Hey, there we go. Brandon?
Am I back?
Hello?
There.
Yay!
Am I here? Or am I not?
Yes, you're here. All right,
Yes.
continue.
Am I-
So you're talking about how the mats are changed now, too?
Yeah, there's, that's one thing too. Is the what they call crash pads. They didn't have the same kind of softness back then. There was kind of just it was just a mat, just to barely break your fall. So a lot of things like that are just different. A lot of safety precautions are way different now than they were 40, 50 years ago. So, even 30, 40 years ago. There's former wrestlers that I follow on YouTube who have big YouTube channels. They talk about even just 10 years ago, or not 10, about 15, 20 years ago, things were way different than they are now. That's not even that long ago. So, so when it comes to a story like this, and when you see the kind of punishment they take, and that's why I'm glad that they had that little line in this movie about, wrestling's not fake. We do, so it's it's kind of sticking up.
You do
for
take punishment.
Yeah, you do take a beating people don't realize that. And that's one thing that a lot of wrestling fans, even if you're not a wrestling fan, I don't like when people call it fake or they don't call it a real sport. It's do you know how long you have to train? You have to train just like a pro athlete would. You have to train.
If not more. If not more, it feels like.
If not more. So, that's one thing that kind of bothers me when people say wrestling's fake. It's yeah, we know it's scripted. We know it's not totally real, but you can't get slammed like that. You as a regular person cannot get slammed like that. They train for that. You cannot jump off the top rope like that and crash onto people like that. You have to get trained for that. It's not easy just because it's scripted. It's the same thing as being an actor in a movie. Yeah, acting is not real. Yeah, but you still have to be a professional. There's a reason why they're called professionals, just it's professional wrestling. Things still happen, things still go wrong. It's like being a stuntman, pretty much. You're still responsible for your actions and for the welfare of the people that you're also going against in these matches. So, there's a lot more that goes into it than just calling it fake. At the end of the day, it's still a show. It's do you call Broadway fake? No, but you enjoy Broadway shows, even though you know it's not real. Yeah. So it's the same thing. At the heart of it, it's still technically, I mean, not totally, but it's still technically a sport. Um, and a lot of these wrestlers, they do actually have like proper collegiate backgrounds in collegiate wrestling, which is 100% a real sport.
And
So
football too. A lot of them,
yeah, or
basketball,
so many
anything.
football, basketball, yeah, because of their size, their strength, yeah. So you know, but overall with this movie, I'm glad that it kind of brings just not only just a good family drama to the table, but it sheds light on the industry. So it kind of does both things really well to me at once, and just also how accurate and how faithful it is to the actual story of the Von Erichs is important. I mean, obviously minus one or two things, but so that's why I agree, Rob. That's why I'm saying it's also a 9 because I mean, just as a wrestling fan and as someone that just likes the fact that they did this story justice and that they kind of they basically a triple threat. Great acting, great casting, um, great insight about the industry and how it can wear on you even, and great um, just a great family drama at the end of the day. So that's you can't get much better than that from a movie. From a movie, especially about a niche topic, like not niche, but a topic that people really won't. If you're not a wrestling fan, you won't know about it. So for it to be for that movie to be as successful as it was at the box office and to be nominated for so many awards, for it being kind of that niche kind of background is pretty cool, and it shows you it's a testament to how well the movie was made. So
Yeah.
it's a 9 from me, easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Shane, what do you give it in your rating scale?
A minus for me. You know, I mean, I said my piece on it. I think it's great, and one of the few biopics I I really like. Um, yeah, I mean, I could talk about it for a while, but
Yeah. For sure. So, Brandon, while
yeah.
while you were reconnecting, Shane told me that he doesn't know what movie he's picking next week. He's still deciding.
Okay, because originally it was going to be Gran Torino, but I wasn't like super sold on that. And you said you'd already seen it,
Yeah,
Brandon.
I've seen it.
And I was like, okay, that's enough for me to want to change it. So, what about? I have a few ideas for, like sort of drama movies about like a flawed character who's trying to redeem themselves, or like not necessarily redeem themselves, but pulled into a certain situation.
Yeah.
So I had a couple ideas. One would be Manchester by the Sea.
Oh my god, that's such a sad movie.
Yeah, it is.
So good, but it's sad as
Yeah,
But you've seen it?
should we try to stay away from 3 sad movies in a row?
Yes.
that is even sadder than this one, I would argue.
Yes, it is. Another one I was thinking of. It's definitely more of like the well, not it's like a dramatic comedy. Is called Beginners from 2010. It stars Ewan McGregor, Christopher Plummer. It's basically about this guy kind of reflecting on his relationship with his very flawed but well-meaning dad who was like secretly gay, or maybe it wasn't a secret. I can't remember.
Yeah,
But
2011.
I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
That's really good. It's more lighthearted, but it's it still has kind of that that sort of vibe. let's see, what's another one? There's also Leaving Las Vegas. I don't know if you guys have seen or heard of that. It's basically Nicolas Cage. I think he.
Sign me up. Sign me up.
I think this was the movie that he either won an Oscar or was nominated. But he's like an alcoholic, and he kind of meets this woman, and they form this bond, and he sort of redeems himself. There's another Nicolas Cage movie too called Joe from 2013, where he's like an ex-con, and he becomes friends with a teenager who he sees kind of going down that same path, and so he tries to be better as a result. So that's a good one too. I don't know. What do you guys
I think
think?
Brandon's excitement, we should do a Nick Cage movie. It's just,
That's where I'm going. Because you know why? I get the rap with Nick Cage of being like, he just takes every role, but he actually is a good actor when he wants to be. Like,
Yeah, well, he only took every role because he was like, $11 million in debt with the IRS. But
well, yeah, yeah.
but otherwise, yeah. I think Leaving Las Vegas is, well, it's definitely better than Joe.
I would say we should do Leaving Las Vegas just because this is different from.
Yeah.
This is just
I'm good
feels a
with
lot
that.
different from,
It's
like
a great movie.
gun thriller kind of movie, I guess, or
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We always do a lot of those.
Does that break our kind of our streak of like picking a movie that relates to the team or something, or the city that they're in?
I mean, it's not every week that's like that. It's more so just like if there's one that works, we'll do
Fits.
it. But like,
Yeah.
otherwise,
Yeah, and who cares about the night games this week anyway? They're pretty garbage.
Yeah.
Well, what is the NFL schedule this week? I'm curious.
Um,
I mean, when this
Rams-
movie was made, there wasn't even a Las Vegas team, and so
Yeah.
Rams
Cards on Thursday, Chiefs Jags on Monday, and Patriots Bills on Sunday night.
Oh man.
okay, yeah, yeah.
And then the London game is Vikings Browns. So there's your national schedule.
God, I really should have saved Buffalo 66 for the season, given the fact that a lot of Bills games are on TV and stuff.
It's fine. It was still a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, which make sure to put that in the chat so that we all know.
Yeah.
But yeah, for Brandon, for Scoop, I can't wait to get his thoughts on that movie. We'll make sure to do that on Thursday. Make sure to do that on Thursday so that Shane and the rest of you can hear that. Shane, good luck on Thursday. I know you have high school ball.
Yeah,
Good
which isn't that ridiculous on Thursday.
So who are you playing?
The number 4
Playing,
team in the state.
Yeah, Cedro Woolley, they're called.
And where do you guys sit?
I think we're like 22,
Oh Jesus!
but that's
Yeah.
out of 135.
Well, yeah,
I think.
you're still on the higher end. Yeah, you're still in the
No.
first quarter. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have I think we have a good game plan together. I'm not gonna say what, obviously, but
Yeah.
but yeah, we now
All I'm
we
going to
were-
say is don't get smacked by 50. Just please make it close.
no. It's not gonna be like that. I mean, I'll tell you guys about it off air, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
but yeah. Anyway,
All right. Well, For Scoop, for Brandon, for Shane, for myself, Robert, we'll see you on Thursday. Peace. Another week in the books.
Yeah.
See you later.
Take care, everybody.